Joining us in the studio today is LPSD Athletic Director Ryan Sklapsky. Ryan, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on board.
Yeah, so we'll just start it off, get right into it with some Lloyd Comp Barons football. I know it's not the start that we saw last year or in previous seasons, but what do you think about this season's start so far?
You knew it would be a little bit of a slower start. The amount of grade 12s that Coach Harper and Lincoln Bloxham lost last year was a massive core to their team. The grade 12 leadership they have this year has huge shoes to fill, so you knew it was going to be a slower start, and the big key for them is they need to show that progression that the grade 12s last year took all these 10s, 11s under their wing, and hopefully get back to that league final, provincial final, and get on a run. But you knew it was going to be a slow start with the number of grade 12s they lost on the O-line especially, the D-line especially. They lost the Schmidt boys, Mohamed. Those are big pieces that you don't fill week one right off the bat. You lose that experience and it makes it hard. So they're in some growing pains right now, but with some of the guys they have there, they'll pick it up.
Some of those guys, including Amrut and Morin, just talk about them and the skill set they possess.
Well, you look at their resumes and I think that speaks volumes to the type of players they are. Anton's played Team Alberta. He's been selected for Team Canada events in the past. Morin played Team Alberta, and Team Canada has been selected for those events in the past as well. I mean, if you shut down Anton and shut down Matt, the comp offense becomes very one-dimensional very quickly. So, you know, or Vince and the Raider coaching staff knew that going in. They've coached with those guys. They've had them for Red Dogs. They've seen them in Bantam, seen them in high school for the last 3 years. They knew what the key to victory was going to be on Friday night. If you shut down Anton, shut down Matt, you limit the options that Lloyd Comp presents to the opposition.
And with the Raiders beating them, they've now lost 2 games. Looking back at last season, you know, they went undefeated. What do you think's going through the minds in that locker room there?
Honestly, I think just film study on Monday and then get back on the field and forget about Friday night. You know, they got a game Friday against Wainwright, and they got to get back in the win column. It's a short season in the Wheatland League, and the 2 points is big. They don't want to lose that gap between Bonneville, St. Paul at the top, the Raiders at the top. So they don't want to fall too far behind. So you know that they're going to be geared up to take on Wainwright here Friday night and try and get back in the win column. Losing 3 in a row, I don't think is something that any of these grade 12s have done in 3 years of playing high school football. So they want to get rid of that taste out of their mouths real quick.
What are a couple of keys that this Baron team needs to focus on and execute heading into this game?
I think just the grade 12s need to lead. I think that's the biggest thing. They got to show the 10s and 11s what it's like to play high school football. They got some strong 10s that have come up the junior Red Dog ranks that this is their first taste of high school football. They've lost 2 in a row. They had a tough loss against Salisbury, but I mean, Salisbury's probably one of the top teams in the north. So it's going to be an adjustment for those grade 10s to jump into the 4. I mean, you look at their schedule, Sal and Holy are 2 tough games right off the bat. So their schedule is going to change. It's going to be a little bit different moving forward, but getting a win on Friday night, that's where it needs to start for the team.
And thank you very much, Ryan, for joining us here. This was Ryan Sklapsky with LPSD. He's the athletic director.